Welcome to our QPR Preview Show after a pulsating week following QPR, as we had 4 points picked up from 2 games against Leicester and West Brom. We'll be previewing the home match against Middlesbrough in this episode, but lots to discuss first. Shall we start with Leicester? A 2-1 win against the league leaders for QPR. A few thoughts on that one first, Dave. An away day for the ages.
Yeah, it was an incredible day. I mean, it helped that we just had no expectations. I just thought we were going to lose and, wouldn't think much of it. But as the game went on, got further and further, we just thought we could do something here because they had a lot of the ball. They had loads of the ball. We didn't really create a lot. And the way Cifuentes had us set up defensively was so good. Even like players like Willock and Chair, they were just in really good positions. They just couldn't get anywhere. They were just having to go side to side all the time. All their, where they wanted to pass to was blocked. They did it so well. And once we got in front, I thought we were quite comfortable, really. It was only really our own mistake to let them back in it near the end. But it was just a brilliant day. And the atmosphere in the away end that day was incredible, especially with the applause on 10 minutes for Stan Bowles was really good on the day. It was just a great day.
Yeah, anyone who was there, I think it says it's going to be one they're talking about in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
It's just great with QPR. It's another example of just seeing a team with a plan, isn't it? We knew that Leicester, how they wanted to exploit the spaces between the fullback and the centre backs, and we were really disciplined to stop them doing it. We never switched off at any point in the game, took our chances when they came. Just a perfect game plan. You mentioned it probably should have been 2-0. Was it a Begovic howler for you?
Yeah, he's just got to push it away from goal. It's basic goalkeeping, isn't it? I don't know what he was doing. It wasn't as though like it was a rocket of a free kick. He had time, and he just give it straight to him. It was really poor, and it made for a difficult end to the game because obviously they're a good team, Leicester. They're probably the best in the league, and we give them a sniff. We could have cost us in the end. They, like I said, they had loads of the ball, but we defended so well and probably could have got a third on the break a few times with a few chances we had. But yeah, he's still a worry for me, Begovic, for some of these mistakes he makes.
Yeah, we'll see whether he's here next season. It kind of reminded me of the Blackburn away game where we're 2-0 up. You think, oh, here we go, we can enjoy the end of the game. And all of a sudden we let a goal in and it gets a bit nervy towards the end. But we were good value for the win with our level of performance. As for West Brom, that was no ordinary 2-2 draw, was it? It really was one of those matches where it's the old cliche, a game that had everything, but it really did apply to this game. What a game. And I think it's a sign of how far QPR have come that I think most QPR fans are genuinely disappointed to come away with a draw.
Yeah, it was superb. I mean, I was a bit worried going into the game last night. I thought it might be a bit of a struggle after we did so well at Leicester, and West Brom are a good team, but we dominated from the start. I thought we played so well, You couldn't fault anyone. We defended well. Apart from the 2 minutes where they scored one brilliant goal and the other one probably could have done better, but he still took it well. Apart from that, we were just all QPR, and we had so many chances. We were, so exciting going forward. It was just such a brilliant game. Such a shame we didn't win it, but you come away from a game like that, you can't help but be pleased. I mean, you think the equivalent. We played them away earlier in the season, and I don't think we had a shot, and we were absolutely awful. I mean, we was talking to some West Brom fans on the train back last night, and they were saying we're the worst team they've seen all season and the best team they've seen this season. It was only 2 performances. It was night and day, and shows you how far we've come under Cifuentes.
Oh, definitely. We put some stats up on Twitter today comparing that exact game, and it just kind of shows you how far you have come under the new manager. 20 shots in this game, one last time we played them, 19 corners compared to 2. Just you can't even realize that you're talking about the same team, just 4 or 5 months between the matches. We genuinely try on this show to not go on about the refs too much, but we have to say with last night's ref, wow, what was he doing? Even at the end, there was an incident over by the touchline and Michael Frey, and the referee didn't even seem to know which way to give the throw in. They were just all stood there waiting to see what was going to happen. There was the incident with Paul Smith having his shirt pulled back and he goes to the ground, he gives a throw into West Brom. It was probably the worst referee performance. I know it added to the game and the drama, but didn't really favour QPR, did it?
I mean, no, it was dreadful. And I mean, the handball, I mean, how did he miss that? I mean, it's hard when you're, as a fan, you're watching the game, you're just watching the ball really, and we didn't see it live, but he's looking right at it. How could he not see that he punched it over? Really poor. And even the Frey disallowed goal, I think he probably was offside, but the linesman never gave offside. He sort of half gave a foul, and then he was waving he's offside. Like, what are you doing? It just seemed to make out as he went along. really poor performance. We did add to an entertaining night, didn't it? It does help to have a clown in charge at times. It was entertaining, but it might be one we come back to. We're laughing about it now, but at the end of the season, are we going to look back and go, "That's 2 points that could have kept us up"? It was a difficult night, but hopefully we won't see him again this season.
Yeah, it cost Sam Field as well the most unlikely hat trick of all time, probably, if he'd gone in for him. Still can't believe that no one really from the QPR side appealed for it more. Michael Frey seemed to put his arm in the air, but he should have been running straight to the ref to maybe try and make him realise something had happened. We're just probably still a little bit too kind at times, the QPR team. As you said, though, not much to criticise about the performance, just those 2 minutes where we conceded 2 goals. But aside from that, it was fantastic. Begovic, we hardly saw him in the second half. And we have to say that Steve Cook overhead kick, what would the scenes have been like if that had gone in?
Oh, I'd have been on the pitch if that had gone in. That was unbelievable. It was so good. It kind of went in slow motion, and it just as it dipped over the keeper, we're like, oh my God, it's in. But to be fair to Furlong, that's a brilliant header off the line. You've got to praise him for that. We deserved to win the game. We were just so unlucky not to win it in the end. But you think before the game we'd probably take a point against West Brom, 4 points from a team that are going to win the league and a team that will be in the playoffs. That's pretty good going this week.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned the fact that we missed a penalty. It was just such an incident-packed match. Probably should have had 3 points, but like you're saying, happy with the 4 points from the 2 games. Because overall this week, I think 99% of QPR fans would have taken 4 points. It's just such a crazy tussle at the bottom of the league, isn't it? That 4 points in the week have only moved us 1 point clear of the drop zone. In terms of the midweek results, though, it was only Sheffield Wednesday in the bottom 8 teams who won. It means that there's only 2 points now covering 8 teams from 16th to 23rd. Have you ever seen anything like it?
It's crazy, isn't it? You think where we was like a month or 2 ago, we just thought, well, are we going to find anyone to drag into this with us? And everyone looked miles clear, and now everyone's in the race. You think even Middlesbrough are not that clear. They're like, I've had a good win last night, but they can be caught as well. And it's insane the form everyone's gone on. Millwall have gone from can't win a game to they've got 2 wins and a draw, and Huddersfield have been better. But it's a shame everyone's hit form at the same time, because we could really have pulled away with these recent results, and we haven't really. But we've finally got ourselves out the bottom 3, and there's plenty to build on and to work on here. I think we can get away from it soon.
Yeah, I think Middlesbrough with that midweek win are probably all right. I think Bristol City in 14th are 6 clear of the bottom 3. And I think from them back downwards, because they've lost 4 in a row, anybody from them down you have to think is probably in the mix. Talking Middlesbrough, let's have a look at previewing that one. And for once again, QPR actually have a decent head-to-head record against Middlesbrough. Only lost 1 of the last 9 against them. And it's over 6 years since they beat us at Loftus Road. So let's hope we can take that one into a 7th year. And of course, they were the opponents for one of Gareth Ainsworth's best days in charge early in the season when we won there 2-0 at the start of September. That was actually Gareth Ainsworth's last win as QPR manager, even though he was in charge for like another 8 weeks after that. Now, they're probably pretty much in no man's land in mid-table. They're one of the few sides maybe at this point haven't got much to play for. 10 points outside the top 6, 9 points clear of the drop zone. You'd probably think they are safe now. Does that make them, though, a tricky opponent or one you would want to play?
Yeah, on paper, one you'd want to play, but they are a tricky opponent because, they're not just going to, they moved 9 clear of relegation last night, but they're going to want to make sure, a win on Saturday against us, and that probably is them safe, they'll be fine then. They're a funny side. I thought they'd be up there on the playoffs this year. They've done really well last season, they finished the season, but been a bit of a disappointment from them. They just haven't really hit those heights again, and I don't think they're going to finish much higher than mid-table this year, are they? But they're not easy opponents, especially because we've had 2 really good results and played really well in those games. Can we maintain that for a 3rd in a row? You do worry about Rangers trying to put these number of performances together. So it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, sometimes with QPR now the fans start to expect, don't we? Because we've beat Leicester, done well against West Brom. You think, oh, Middlesbrough aren't as good as them, and then we let ourselves down. They won in midweek, as we said, but it was only after Norwich went down to 10 men that they managed to turn it around. Overall, in the last 2 months, they've been pretty poor. It's only 2 wins, I think, since the middle of January. Where they are in the table, hopefully they are already booking their tickets for their holidays and we can catch them on a day where they're not as bothered. For QPR, it's one defeat in 9 games now. It's just frustrating, really, that the one defeat was against Stoke, because otherwise we'd be 7 points clear of them. Typical QPR, that even with a good run, the one defeat is so costly. But when you look at some of the other teams, Blackburn are 6 without a win, Plymouth 1 win in 7. Other teams are struggling a lot more than us right now. You'd probably rather be QPR. And we keep saying it each week, but if we perform how we do in those last 2 games, this QPR team, it's win that you want to be us, wouldn't you? Is what I'm trying to say. You want to beat us with the confidence, the form, than those other teams.
Yeah, the way we're playing, if we can continue this level of performance the rest of the season, we won't go down. They'll get enough points to get out of it. But it's whether they can do that, because we looked good for a few weeks, and then, like you mentioned, that Stoke game, it's like, where did that come from? And they're quite capable of doing that again. You know, we've still got some tough games coming up against teams around us in April, which is going to be the key ones, I think. But, you know, just the whole level of performance since the new year, it's just been so good. We just, he's got more options now with the signings they made in January. They just look so much more organised defensively than they were at the start of the season. It's all positive, and you think if we can stay up, the future looks quite bright. I think everyone will be quite looking forward to next season if we do stay up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know personally I am. You're just thinking, just get over the line, and the future maybe is a bit brighter for us. You're right as well to highlight those fixtures that we've got coming after the international break. We've got Birmingham, Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday, and Plymouth in a row. That's going to be make or break, because it's actually a little bit of a tricky running after that. In terms of this fixture, it's a quick turnaround, only 2 days off. One change I think we can all probably expect to see is Jack Colback coming in, regardless really of how others have played, because of how fresh he's going to be after 2 games out. But who does he replace?
Yeah, it's a tough one, because they were both so good last night, Field and Hayden. But I think he probably will come in, maybe for Hayden. He's been coming off in the last few games, so maybe he'll bring him in for them. But other than that, you probably think the only other change would be Willett coming in. He tends to not start when they have these 3-game weeks. He doesn't start him in the midweek game, does he? But he looked very good when he came on last night, so I think he'll start as well.
Yeah, I think surely he can't drop Sam Field after that display. So if Colback is going to come back in, you just presume it's maybe for Hayden, who could probably do with the rest, because I think he started every game pretty much since he joined. Yeah. Chris Willett, you say, he looked great, didn't he, when he came on for his cameo last night? So you'd think he'd replace Paul Smith. Up front, though, it's changing every game. Which way do you think he's going to go for this one up front?
Yeah, it's tricky enough. I mean, obviously he missed a penalty last night, Frey. It was a dreadful penalty, but he played quite well. Apart from that, his work rate was unbelievable up front. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts again, but he is rotating the 3 of them, isn't he? Maybe we'll see Armstrong get a run in this one. I thought he did well coming off the bench against Leicester. Dykes played well in that game as well. It's nice to have options, isn't it? We keep saying it. We had no choice a couple of months ago. I think whichever one of them he picks, I think they'll do fine. And then if you need to make changes, you're going to have strong players off the bench.
Yeah, I think our buzzword in the last few shows has been options, but if people only watching us for the first time, you have to go back to the start of the season. All we did every week was say we haven't got any options, so we're just so excited to have them now. Michael Freya, I'm with you. I thought he was good. I know he split opinion a little bit with his performance. I actually think I was quite impressed with how much like pace he's got. He was actually really getting around and charging at players, and I didn't think he had that in him from the first few appearances he had. Sinclair Armstrong's not started since Stoke, so you wonder whether that performance away there has cost him his starting positions. But the striker rotation, it really is highlighting how astute the manager is, isn't he? Because he really seems to know what he's looking for in each game. Because Armstrong came on and scored against Leicester, but then doesn't even get off the bench against West Brom. He's picking and choosing his players carefully, isn't he, about where we are in the games, who the opposition are, the pitch size potentially. That's maybe why Armstrong's featuring more away. He doesn't just make changes in games, though, either for the sake of it, does he?
Yeah, no, he clearly knows what he's doing, like you say, he does seem to pick them depending on the opposition and what sort of game it is. That's why I think for home games, he may go with Frey more often at home, because you're going to be on the front foot a lot more, looking to get crosses in the box. So I think he'll probably be involved again at the weekend. But I just can't speak highly enough of the manager. You can just see how well coached they are all the time. They're just so organised, this team, and you think back to the start of the season and what they look like. I can't believe it's the same team or the same club, to be honest. It's unreal.
Yeah, do you know what? I know this is a bit of a sweeping statement to make, but it feels like he was almost born to manage QPR. He just fits the club so well, and I just hope no one poaches him from us for a long time. Someone else we have to mention this week, I think, is Lucas Anderson. I know we talked about him a few weeks ago, but after his last 2 performances, I just feel like we have to say what a player we have on our hands there.
Yeah, how have we got him on a free transfer? He looks a really good player. He just looks a level above the Championship, doesn't he? He's, like I said before, he plays with his head up all the time. He picks the right pass. He looks a really good player. Definitely have him involved again at the weekend. And seeing him, Chair and Willock together, I think that's a really, exciting combination. Is going to cause any team problems. Really impressive. He obviously needs to get his fitness up because he doesn't seem able to play the full games at the minute, but that'll come with time because he obviously had a long break before he played for us, signed for us. But yeah, really impressive so far.
Yeah, he's just so calm on the ball. And as his fitness is getting better, you can see he's almost all over the pitch, dropping deep for the ball 1 minute, next minute he's up by the striker. I think the word to describe him is he's like just a smooth player around the pitch in the way he passes it and everything. And 244 minutes he's played for QPR and got 3 assists already. It's already like league lead in ratio for his assists, so hopefully he can keep that up. If we just finish with the defenders, though, we have a week off after this game. So do you think he's going to keep the same 4 if he can?
I think so if he can. I mean, Cook and Clark-Salter have been so good together. I know Clark-Salter went off. Hopefully it wasn't an injury. But they've made such a difference having them two as centre halves. And Jimmy Dunn's been a revelation at right back, isn't he? When I saw the team sheet against Bristol City and he was at right back, they're like, what's he doing here? But he's been fantastic in the games. Last night he's taking players on and putting crosses in. It's like, where's this been? He's like been a very clumsy centre half for the last 18 months. But it's great to see. And if they're all fit, I'd definitely start with the same back 4 again.
Yeah, I think we all would. But as for Jimmy Dunn, I think if he carries on performing like this, I don't think we'll see him back at centre half again. I think he's going to become a right back because he's even the way he goes forward and what he offers in the final third with his strength and aerial ability. It's just great to see. Predictions to finish then. Can we follow up that West Brom performance with another top-notch home display?
I certainly hope so. If we play like we did in the last 2 games, we'll win. And I'm hoping we will get a win. I think it'll be close. Middlesbrough are a decent side, on their day. I think we'll win maybe 2-1.
Yeah, I've gone for 2-1 myself. I just think we have nothing to fear. The players should be so confident. The manager's rotated well, given some players some rest. Willock is fresh, which I think is going to be key because he looks on form when he's playing at the moment. I think we can definitely win this one. But whatever happens, you said it before, the future just does feel like it can be bright for QPR if we can get over the line this season. We'll be back next week to preview the final match before an international break as QPR travel to Sunderland. Thank you for watching as always, and come on, you R's.
We know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.